Good morning, everyone. Well, at least it's morning for me, so bear with me. My name's Desiree, and the two cats you see are Chai and Willow. And today we have a full body Vinyasa flow. It's about a 40-minute class, so it'll get your arms and especially your legs ready for the day. So when you're ready, grab some water and we'll get started. So we will meet today in child's pose, resting your forehead on the mat, arms and hands cupping the heels of your feet. This class is all about you, so if at any point you are feeling overwhelmed or need to take a break, feel free to meet back in this position, grab some water. We will be focusing on toning the lower body, including the legs and hamstrings, while also giving good tribute to the upper back and arms. If there's a mantra you want to keep in mind for yourself today, whether that be focusing on your breath or letting go of negative thoughts, I want you to think of it now. And in the next breath, seal that mantra or that intention inside you and carry it with you with today's practice. One last breath. And as you exhale, rise up, interlacing the hands behind the back, arms reaching up towards the sky while lowering your forehead onto the mat. This is called bowing yoga mudra. Breathing in through the nose, out the nose. Take one last breath. And exhale, release the arms. Inhale, twisting to the left. Reach your right arm out to the side, lowering the upper body, stacking the left arm on top for revolved wild child pose. Exhale, we'll rise up, switching sides, stretching out our shoulders and our upper bodies, connecting to the breath. From here, we're going to get some movement going in the hips and back. So we'll meet in a tabletop position. And slowly we'll begin making circles, sinking back into a mini child's pose. Just around, up and back from tabletop to child's pose. Massaging the hips and the back. When you're ready, we'll return to tabletop position. Begin to reach both of our hands forward to the top of our mat, lowering our head and upper back for puppy pose. Keeping the core engaged to protect the lower back. Stretching out our shoulders. Inhale, one more breath. Exhale, return back into tabletop. We'll take one breath here. And as you exhale, we'll untuck the toes, lift the hips for our first downward facing dog. Reaching the hips up high towards the sky, sinking the armpits further back towards the heels. Maybe even bending one knee at a time to get a stretch in the legs. Core once again engaged, pressing all 10 fingertips into the mat. Inhale, set your gaze in between your hands. Exhale, begin to walk your feet up towards the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe keeping the knees bent here for our first forward fold so we're not straining too fast. Or even interlacing your hands for ragdoll. Inhale, we'll slowly roll our backs up to standing, arms reaching up overhead. Inhale, maybe giving a little bit of arch to your back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands reach towards the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, stepping back into plank and into your chaturanga. Now I am doing a level 3 chaturanga, but I placed level 1 and level 2 on the screen so you can follow along at whatever level that you're at the moment. Inhale as we step our feet up towards the top of our mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we'll bend the knees, sink the hips, reaching the arms up and overhead for chair. Making sure our tailbone is tucked under and that most of our weight is in our heels. Think of it as lifting your toes from the mat. Breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine. Exhale, step back into plank. From here, we're going to lower all the way down to our stomachs. Begin to reach our arms out to a 90-degree angle, pressing both palms into the mat for Sphinx pose. Feel as though you're really reaching your chest through your shoulder blades here for a good stretch in the upper back and sternum area. Careful not to strain the neck too much. You know your limits, follow them. Last breath here. Exhale, lower down. From here, we're going to come onto the fingertips, arms spreading out wide outside of our mat. Inhale, lifting the chest up for seal pose. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, raising the chest up, using the hands to support your back, maybe looking side to side. Exhale, lower on down. One last rep. And from here, we'll release our arms to cactus, still holding, reaching our chest up towards the sky. Using our backs and our core to support us. Slowly we'll exhale, lowering back onto our mat. Take a few moments here, and when you're ready, we're going into a forearm plank. So you can interlace the hands if you'd like, coming onto our toes. Engaging the core, pressing through the shoulder blades. be here for a few breaths. Connect to that breath to help you push forward. Exhale, we'll lower on down, tucking the toes back under. We'll once again prep for another plank hold, this time high plank. So inhale, rise all the way up into high plank, engaging the core, pushing through all 10 fingertips, pushing through the shoulder blades, finding your breath. Exhale, set the knees down, sink back into child's pose. Inhale, we'll roll back out through tabletop, back into plank. One breath here. Exhale, bend the knees, sinking back into child's pose. We'll do this a couple of times. Inhale, stepping back up into plank. Exhale, bending the knees, sitting back into child's pose. When you're ready, we will meet in tabletop position. One breath here, and exhale, raise the hips for downward facing dog. Now is the perfect time to remind yourself of your intention that you set at the beginning of class today. Connecting back to the breath. Inhale, begin to walk our feet towards the top of their mat. Inhale, halfway up, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, arms up overhead for chair. Thighs should be magnetically engaged with each other. Hips sinking lower and lower back towards our heels. Inhale, step our right foot back, squaring the hips and lowering that back heel down towards the mat. Arms reaching up and overhead. High lunge pose. Breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose, sinking our hips deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Reach back into warrior two. Our hips should be open to the side of the room now. Our back foot should be parallel to the back of our mat. Arms reaching out to a T. Core engaged. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that front foot. Face both of our feet towards the side of the room and begin to lower upper body down into a wide-legged forward fold. No worries if you can't reach your hands to your ankles. Feel free to keep them at the thighs or the shins or even at the hips, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, we'll rise up, arms up overhead. Exhale, square our hips to the front of the mat for high lunge on the opposite side. Still reaching our back heel towards the mat while sinking deeper on that front right knee. Inhale, pressing off of our left foot. We'll meet at the top of our mat in chair. Tailbone tucked under once again. The weight of our body in our heels. One last breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alright everyone, we just finished our first flow. So we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Take one breath. As we exhale, begin to walk our feet up towards the top of our mat. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips low for chair, core engaged. Feeling the sensation in our legs. Arms strong. Find your gaze. Last breath. Exhale, stepping our left foot back into high lunge. Hips square to the front of our mat. Deep breath as we transition into Warrior Two, facing our hips towards the side of the room, back heel parallel to the back of your mat, arms fully engaged. Creating as much of a bend in that front knee as possible. Inhale, straighten that leg. Face both of our feet towards the side of our mat. Forward fold in straddle. Once again, you can have your hands at your hips, thighs, or shins, or at your ankles if that feels good for you. Coming back to that intention that you set for yourself. Coming back to the breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale, we'll rise up, arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll shift our hips square towards the front of our mat. For a high lunge on the opposite side. Hips still square. Back heel reaching towards the back of our mat. Exhale, stepping back into chair. Tailbone tucked under. Hips sinking towards the floor. Core engaged. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, chaturanga. High to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to meet in tabletop and eventually child's pose here. We just went through our first level of our flow today, so we're taking a little bit of a break. So maybe grab some water if you'd like, pet the cat, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, we'll meet once again in downward facing dog. Coming back to our breath. Inhale, walk our feet up towards the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bending the knees, sinking the hips for chair. Tailbone tucking under. Engaging your core. We're going to add on to our flow here. So next we're going to bring our arms to our heart. take a breath. And as you exhale, twisting to the left, we're going to hook our right elbow around our left knee for twisted chair. Inhale back to center, and exhale, switching sides. Inhale back to center. Exhale, stepping back with the left foot for high lunge. Hips square to the front of our mat, lowering that back heel as much as you can, engaging the core. Exhale, we'll reach back into Warrior Two. Back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Nice bend in that front right knee. Adding on to our flow, we'll reach our right arm up and overhead, left arm placed onto our back leg for reversed warrior. Exhale, back into Warrior Two. Inhale, reaching our right arm forward to place onto our thigh, left arm up and overhead for extended side angle. You shouldn't have much weight on our right arm, on our leg here. You should be able to lift it up pretty easily, using your core to keep you steady. Maybe having your gaze set up towards the sky. Connecting to your breath. Inhale back into Warrior Two, and exhale, squaring the hips or the side of our room for forward fold in straddle. Remember that it's not all about making it through the class. It's about connecting to the breath and connecting to your movements. So if you lose your breath, feel free to meet back in child's pose just to take a quick break. We'll still be here when you're done. From straddle, we're going to rise up, bending the knees, opening up the legs for goddess pose. Keeping the core engaged, ignoring the cat trying to destroy the mat. Inhale, reaching the arms up, straightening the legs. Exhale, square the hips towards the opposite side of the mat, bending that front knee for high lunge. Back heel sinking towards the back of the mat. Core engaged once again. Exhale, we'll meet in chair. Feeling the burn in the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, straight spine. Exhale, step back into plank and right into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So proud that you've made it this far today. We just have one more side and then we can begin cool down. Take one breath. Exhale, stepping our feet up towards the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips for chair. Arms reaching up by your ears. Exhale, twisting to the right for twisted chair. Core still engaged. Most of your weight should still be in the heels. One breath. Exhale back to center. Inhale, twisting to the left. Squeezing the thighs together. Engaging the core. Inhale into center chair. Exhale, stepping the right foot back into high lunge. Hips square. One more breath. Exhale, release into warrior two. Hips open to the side of your mat. Front knee bending ever so slightly towards the top of your mat. Inhale, reaching the left arm up and behind you for reversed warrior. Core engaged. Hips still open. Still creating that bend in that front knee. Exhale, return back into warrior two, and exhale, lowering down into extended side angle. Just slightly resting our left forearm on our knee. Inhale, straighten that leg, squaring our feet towards the side of the mat. A forward fold in a wide straddle. Hands at the hips, the thighs, or the shins, ankles, or maybe even possibly placing the hands on the mat. Surrendering to your breath, to this deep sensation in the hamstrings. And as you breathe your last breath in this position, begin to bend the knees, opening the legs up into goddess pose. Arms in the cactus position. Gaze up and overhead, engaging the core. Inhale, reaching the arms up with the head. Exhale, square the feet towards the front of your mat and sink into high lunge on the opposite side. Inhale and exhale, stepping back into chair. Hips sinking low, core engaged. Release into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back into plank and into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alrighty, great job everyone. We finished our flow. Now that our legs are nice and warmed up, we're ready for our cool down part of today's class. So we're going to bend the knees and sink back into child's pose just for a rest. Steadying the breath here, slowing it down. This time we'll inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. A cooling breath sensation. Follow your breath a few more times. And when you're ready, we'll meet in half pigeon on the left side. So coming into a tabletop position, We'll bring our left leg across our arms, straightening the back leg, hips square. Pressing our foot into the ground. And when you're ready, we'll lower down, placing our forehead on the mat. Feel free to also have your hands in a forearm position, or use a pillow or a block, whatever works for you. Me personally, I always like to grab a little bit of water while I'm in this pose. It's a good pastime. Using that cooling breath once again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe even thinking of your intention that we set earlier. How did you do during class with that intention? One more breath in half pigeon. And when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Bringing our right foot across our arms, lowering the left leg behind us, hips square towards the front of our mat. We'll go ahead and release and surrender into this pose. A few more breaths, surrendering into this posture. Last breath. Exhale, we'll slowly, very slowly release, and we'll meet on our sit bones, bringing our left heel into our right thigh. We're going to reach our arms up overhead, straightening that right foot out in front of us, and slowly reaching forward for a forward fold. Keeping the back as straight as possible here. Only go as far as your back allows you to. Hips square as much as possible. Inhale, we'll slowly rise back up and switch sides. Now bringing our right heel into our left thigh, squaring our hips towards the front of our mat, reaching forward. Once again, only going as far as your back allows you to. Try not to round the back. Exhale, release. We'll slowly rise back up. And we'll meet in our last pose of today, Shavasana, corpse pose. Lying on our back, lowering our legs all the way down towards the floor, closing our eyes, coming to an easy breath, whatever feels comfortable for you. No more in the nose, out the nose, or in the nose, out the mouth. Just whatever feels comfortable. You did a fantastic job today, pushing through some more difficult poses. And now it's time to rest. Releasing all tension in the body, coming back to your breath. I want you to think of the state of mind you were in at the beginning of class and compare that to how you feel now. Are you looser, more relaxed, more alert? Whatever it is, focus on it and your breath as if they were one. When you're ready, we'll meet in crisscross applesauce. An easy seat. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a few cooling breaths here, in through the nose, and exhale out your mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Thank you for joining me on this class today. And don't forget to thank yourself for arriving on your mat. Have a great day, everyone. And if you liked what we did today, please subscribe to Willow's Mage on YouTube here. You can also follow Willow's Mage on Instagram. Link is in the description, along with a link to a PDF of the class we did today, so you can do that on your own time if you want. I also upload weekly, so stay tuned and notified for that. Blessed be.